Hello, welcome back to Sherry Heart's Resin Art. I went with a change of pace for today. I've decided that I would just like to make some little earrings. This is an earring mould. It came with earring attachments, but there's only one of each design, so I assume that you could make earrings as well. You would need to cast and recast in the same one. And if you wanted to make a matching pair of earrings, it might be difficult to get your colouring exactly correct if you were putting multiple colours in. But for me, I am going to do marbling effect. So these are some that I've made previously with epoxy. I think the benefit of doing a marble effect is they don't have to be exactly matching to still look good. So those are what I made with epoxy. I'm actually going to try it with UV this time. So I have these glitter UV resins from J Dixon, and I am going to use these four. There's black and silver. I would have ideally liked white, but it's silver, that's fine as well. So I'm going to do some black and silver to look similar to those epoxy ones. But then there's a fireball one, so I thought I would use red and yellow. The other colours in the pack are brown and blue, and green and purple. I think they were about £21–22 off the top of my head. So with no further ado, I've never done a marbling effect with UV before, but I'm assuming, see, with epoxy you would dirty pour it, so you'd have some black in one cup, some white in another, and then you would either drip it in like that and then give it a little stir as well, maybe if they weren't already swirled enough. Or you can pour white into black or vice versa, so mix your two colours together but without mixing, because that'll turn it grey. You just pour one colour into the other, leaving it streaky, and then you can pour from the same cup. There's different ways of doing a marbled effect with epoxy. With UV, I'm assuming I'm just going to have to do some splodges of one colour, then the other, and then just keep building on it until I've got that effect throughout. So obviously what I'm putting down now will be the pattern that's visible on the other side. And so I'll just need to keep putting pattern down to fill the mould up, being mindful of what pattern I want to be able to be seen on this side, or not necessarily what pattern, but the colour domination. Do I want mostly black, mostly silver? I don't know, I'm just playing by ear. So now I'm just moving it around a bit because it's a bit over full up in the head part, but under full around the eyes and in between the eyes and around the nose. So I'm trying to push the resin into those small gaps. UV, or at least these UVs, are a bit thicker, so it's not as easy to self-level, especially to squeeze around into very thin gaps. So I'm actually pulling apart at the thinnest gap on the side in the hope of encouraging some to flow into those thin gaps. That looks good. So I'm going to do a pair of them and a pair of this star eyes, I guess. Stop there and start giving it an encouragement. Just looking across the top, I think that one, well, yeah, they're both a little bit under full. I will have to try and clean these up a lot better than I would with epoxy, because when UV sets, it sets really hard, so it can be really hard to cut off over pour. It's still a bit under poured, but I don't want to risk too much over pour and those bottles are quite hard to squeeze in. Comes out in bigger blobs than you might want. So they're close enough that I risk over pouring now. I am going to leave them there, and then if needs be I'll do a clear top coat and onto the red and yellow. So what I thought was start with red at the bottom. These are a lot easier. Oh, this one's a lot easier to squeeze than the black or silver. Just encourage it around there. I can always squeeze more onto the wider section if needed, and just stretching it apart a bit to make it easier to push some through into the thin area next to the eye. Tiny bit more, and then yellow up top, encourage it up. I can't get comfortable with how to hold it. Red and yellow on me, and then swirl it about to make them blend a little bit. I still need a bit more yellow up here. I think I will take the lid completely off, but then cover it with my black glove to protect it from the light while I do this, until I'm sure I've got enough. Yep, that'll do. And a little bit more red at the bottom, I think. It's just the under pouring I need to sort out now. Bit more yellow. Oh, oopsie daisy. Oh, still a bit under full. So I'm putting it under the Let's Resin double-sided lamp for 3 minutes. I'll be back with you when they're cured. Okay, they are cured. So before I take them out, I'm just going to check. Yeah, they need a bit more of a top coat, so I'm going to just do that with clear. It's quite hard to see that I'm getting, put the lid back on that I'm getting all the way to the edge. So I'm just lifting up to be able to look from the side. And check that the doming looks even. And this is where I'll have to be a bit more careful about picking the mould up, especially when I move on to the second and third. When I'm busy looking at the second and third, forgetting that the first or the first two have got a fresh coat on top which could run. So I'll just have to be a bit more mindful of that. I think to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to put a blob on my mat. Because I don't want to pour any more straight from the bottle, because I'm risking pouring too much. So I just want to put a tiny stick tip worth on at a time now. That looks good. I will put those back under the light for 2 minutes and I'll see you when they're done. Okay, they're done. I shall pop those out and just check the underside as well. So the underside are obviously very flat, they're not domed. Oops. A couple of tiny little bits in the eyes to be trimmed off. So that looks good. tiny bit there. On that side. That looks good. Oh, I might have... Oh no. I've got overpaw here. There should be... If you can see here, there is a gap there in the colouring. There's a... Oh, actually I can see it now. I thought I'd overpawed with the silver or black because I couldn't see the gap. Well, I can see the gap. It's just it's been overpawed with the clear top coat, so it's a bit less obvious. There's no physical hole there, but you can see, hopefully, that there is a line, so it'll do. And this one, tiny bit on the edges there. And the other side's good. Now the issue here is I have got a hole here and a hole here. So clearly when I was spreading the resin around, try and fill those gaps, I missed a tiny spot. It doesn't go all the way through though, so that's strange. How did I miss a spot but then cover it over? I don't know. I must have somehow created a bubble. Anyway, those will do. Now I've got to go to my day job. So I will see you again tonight. You'll see me in a jiffy. Okay everybody, I'm back after another day of my real job. I'm just going to make another set of these to make a pair, and then we'll look at tidying them up and attaching the jewellery. So I'll put you on pause. I don't think there's any need for you to watch that again. Okay, so these are going to go into the lamp for 3 minutes. So I just thought that whilst we wait for them, I kind of want to take my gloves off actually, but I'll see how I go cleaning them up instead. I thought we'd look at how much cleanup's needed on these first ones. Just making sure that's not resin on my gloves. Okay, just an ordinary nail file. And then for this clear overpar in the middle, I'm not too concerned about it because it's clear, but maybe in that case I should just leave it, otherwise I'm going to end up making it stand out with scuff marks on it. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I might give these all another top coat just to dome them all a bit more as well. I'm not 100% sure yet. Just a couple of tiny flakes inside the eyes here, and I'm happy with that one. Okay, so a clear top coat for these, so I'll put you on pause again. Okay, so these have had 2 more minutes with a clear top coat on. Looking good. So let's see, a bit more cleanup required. bit of one nostril is blocked. That one looks good. So now just to decide whether to put another clear top coat on and dome them a bit more. I do think they do need it, but I just feel like I am guaranteed to ruin them if I do, because I am not very good at top coating. I think if I'm going to do it, I'll have to put them back in the mould so that resin can't run down and underneath unevenly. I'll have to do one side at a time. So I don't want it running down around the outside and then making lumps underneath. So can I stick them back in the moulds? Not perfect, but now this one, the eye looks a bit misshapen, so I may not be able to put it back in upside down anyway. Oh, I'll just take a chance on doing them in here. I just need to be very careful to not put too much on. Right, so I'll put you on a time lapse for this. If I've gone in the nostrils, it doesn't matter for the purposes of being able to still see the nostrils. But what I'm concerned about is it's run down the inside of the mould, therefore it's stuck onto there. Resin has got onto there, which means that if I go cure it now, there will be some extra resin on the underside of the skull. Alright, time lapse. Okay, back under the lamp for 2 minutes. Okay, so they've had 2 minutes with the clear. And they look okay on top. That one stuck to that a bit, so I just want to check. That's strange. I wonder why that side's sticky. I thought that some UV had gone underneath and then not cured yet, but I don't know. That one's the same. Unless they're just sticking to the mould just because silicone is sticky, I guess. Yep, they're all looking good, so I am going to top coat the other sides as well. I'll put you on pause again this time. Okay, so these have been clear top coated on both sides. They've had about an extra 10 minutes under the lamp. I started with 3 minutes on the second side, and then 2, and then I switched them back and forth a couple of times because they still felt quite tacky. They still do, but they feel okay for me to handle. I can't find the E-ring attachments that actually came with them. They came in a separate little package, not in the package with the actual mould, so I've lost them. But I do have a jewellery making kit, so all is not lost. So I'm just looking at whether I need to re-drill any holes. I believe I do that one. I'll put that down at the bottom. I'm pretty sure I don't that one. Let's double check anyway. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Yeah, both sides on that one. The others is just one side. That's just one side. Obviously the drill bit will have to go through the whole thing, but I'm just pointing out that the top coat only went too far on one side on most of them. So this one, I got it off Amazon, I believe. Yeah, it's a cute little handheld tool. And it has the Allen key. In the bottom for safekeeping. Haven't used it for a while, so hope it's charged. I've never actually made earrings before. I've made the jewellery, the resin, and then my daughter's put the attachments on. But I'm trying to do these as a surprise for this is where I am going to have difficulty. So put a jump ring on Open a brand new clean pair of tweezers. And then keep these separate purely for making earrings. Thing is, I think I need 2 pair, don't I? I'm sure he had some proper jewellery tweezers. But they'll be in my daughter's stash somewhere. I might have to leave them for her. And then how do I... Because is the jump ring supposed to go through there? Huh. I'll put you on pause a minute and call my daughter. Okay. Crisis averted. My daughter directed me to where the rest of her jewellery making stuff is. So I've gone ahead and found some bigger jump rings and put one on one of these already. And I shouldn't have closed that up yet, should I? Because I'm just thinking now, I don't need this small jump ring. And now I need to open this one up again. Okay, there we go. I've done it. It was a bit of a struggle coordinating my hands and whatnot. I had to make a couple of the holes a bit wider. I think because of doing 2 top coats, I made them fatter, so it made the jump rings more difficult to get through because of going through on a curve. So the fatter it is, it's got to go more straight before it can curve around again. So I have actually dulled some of these because of handling them to drill them. Yeah, they were still a little bit tacky, but lessons learned, you know. I think in future I'll leave them for 24-48 hours after I've had them in the lamp. Give them extra in the lamp. So once you think you've done enough, do a bit more, but then leave them out in natural light for 24-48 hours before actually putting the earrings on. But there we go. My first time actually making earrings from start to finish. And yep, that's a wrap on this one. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do next week yet. I've done a couple of really difficult ones, and then I thought I would do an easier one today. Apart from struggling with the jewellery attachments, it was certainly an easier project resin wise. So I don't know what to do next week now, whether to go a bit more difficult again, or maybe work on some, oh yeah, UV shakers maybe. Or maybe epoxy shakers. Either way, shakers, possibly. Alright, thank you guys. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, share, comment. And I will see you next week, hopefully. Bye-bye.